Jacob Blake. Let's talk about it. First off, we do not have all the facts. What we do know is there's a domestic dispute, apparently, reportedly, between two women. There are children in the car. How many children? Unknown, but there's children in the car. And we know that at one point, he was on the ground on the passenger side of the car and was able to get up and get around to the driver's side of the car. And I'm going to do my best to reserve what I really want to say until I see body cam footage. What I continue to not want is for people to riot and hit the streets and things of that such. In the age of videotapes, in the age of body cams and stuff, it's going to be increasingly difficult for people to do things, whether they have the legal protection to do these shootings without being caught and without being exposed. So with a little time, all criminality will end up coming to light. So I'm looking forward to seeing the body cam on this thing. Now I do see a couple of things. I see a couple of things here, and I took a look at as many perspectives as I can get my hands on before I reacted to this, because I want to react unemotionally. So let's get right to it. Anybody, and this doesn't apply to police officers. Applies to anybody holding a gun. Anybody who has a gun, and I do not. That person wins. Okay? In that moment, that person wins. And I've always told you to guard your emotions. Okay? Guard how you react. Assess the situation. Cop has a gun. I do not. Cop wins. I'm not escalating that situation. That doesn't make me punk or anything like that. That makes me a critical thinker. You have to know the environment you are in any given moment. Now, I'm not saying that to pass judgment or anything in this case or anything like that. I'm talking about in life in general. If you are getting robbed and the criminal because he's a criminal at that point, if he's robbing you, if he has a gun, he wins. Do what you need to do to survive in that moment. Avoid escalating the situation. That's that. Now, as I said, I'm looking forward to seeing more information. We have been able to pinpoint false flags. This doesn't appear to be a false flag. What I don't like about this situation is how it's being spun in the news and added to a list of other incidences that we were able to identify as false flag. I'm including a link in the description, and the link in the description that I'm including is not the link of the video footage of Jacob Blake getting gunned down. I'm thankful he's alive. I'm upset that he's paralyzed. And looking at it from the police lens, it's just they're going to have some things to deal with. Okay, but I'm going to say my reaction to what I know based on what I saw, what they did wrong, till I see that body cam footage. There was no maintaining. That situation didn't have to get to the shooting part. Okay, he should have never got to get to the other side of the car. Right now, it's been reported that he is breaking up the domestic dispute. So how anybody who is breaking up the domestic disputes becomes, somebody to devote potential lethal attention to, that's another video. I want to see the cops' body cam if they have it. And I would imagine that they do in this age. So we're going to look at that. What I don't want you to do is what some of you are doing, clashing with the police in the streets and rioting and stuff like that. Because outside of this situation, we do know that there is an agenda for civil unrest. We do. Now, the link in the description that I am going to include is of Breonna Taylor and how she is beautifully being presented on not one, but two magazine covers. And although she is beautiful, and although of all situations, that might have been the one that would have got somebody like me, rioting and this, that, and the third, and again, guard your emotions. The agenda to promote trauma, to promote the trauma that's going on in our neighborhood, to promote it, is sketchy at best, and not something that I want to encourage you to react to. It's just not. I want you to protect your families, and I want you to protect your families with a level head. All right, and I want you to police yourselves. Is what I want you to do. I want you to police yourselves before police show up on the scene. I don't think that's a whole lot to ask for in this environment. If we are only 13% of the population, but yet we apparently are the sixth leading cause of death in America is death by police officers. It is a good idea to police yourself before police officers are called. I think that's important. Because once police officers are called, they have the gun. And whoever has the gun wins. And that wins. Now, there may be things that come down the pipeline later, but I'm talking about winning in that moment. I don't have a gun. You have a gun. I don't care if you're 5'2". You win in that moment. And I have to make a conscious effort and utilize critical thinking skills to, decide whether this is something I want to pursue in this moment, or do I want to, take the L and live another day. I'm just thankful that that this man is, survived this incident. First off, I hope that the paralysis is not, indefinite. We will see, as the medical reports come out and we get more clarification on the extent of his injuries. And like I said, being in the age of as much technology and as much people who are shooting various angles with their cell phones, and there are at least two angles, one on each side of the car one on the driver's side of the car that most of you have seen, and one on the passenger side of the car from a neighbor's yard that maybe not as many of y'all have seen, but I've seen that footage. I'm waiting for the body cam footage. Okay. Guard your emotions. Okay. Rioting is an excuse for more trauma, more arrests, and potentially more shootings. And that's not the answer. I'm not saying that this is the answer, but it is a good suggestion in this moment, if there's going to be a suggestion given, to police yourselves. Police yourselves. I had a coworker ask me just today, "Hey, what you doing on the weekend? He was about to invite me. I know what he was about to do. He was about to invite me out to his crib Um, you know, it's birthday celebration. She's having a birthday or whatever. I know there's gonna be people there, people I don't know, and I know that there's gonna be drinking. And though I like to, to end up, hanging out and stuff like this ain't the time to be gathering in large groups. And I'm not talking about social distancing. I'm just, anything that alcohol will probably be involved in, in this environment where people have been, locked down for so long. It's just, my critical thinking says, you could use some company. It'd be nice to hang out. It's not a good idea. Um, to to be places you don't have to be. Stay around your loved ones. You know what I mean? Do what you have to do. To be able to continue to feed yourself and monitor potential food shortages that will probably be coming into 2021. The whole idea of Breonna Taylor being displayed on magazines and stuff like that, and pushed through publications and stuff like that, and just to remind us. I don't know what the intent was. I didn't have a good feeling about it. I'm not saying she was presented in ill light. She was not. Her photos are beautiful. Um, One more thing I'd interject real quick to keep this short. We know the history of policing in this country. We know why policing, how policing became a thing and what its original intent was. Having stated that, if it's going to continue, as I hear a lot of you talking about defunding the police, I'm not with the whole defunding police thing. I tell you what I am for. I am for people policing in communities where they live. Okay, if you don't live in the neighborhood, I don't want you policing in a neighborhood. Go police in the neighborhood that you live in. And this is not necessarily about race. More than this is about community involvement, or what is your investment in the community. You don't live in the community, you're getting paid that salary to go live in a nice neighborhood, and you come in to police my neighborhood. You're taking money out of my neighborhood. First off, that's another video. All right, and you don't have the same investment in the community as somebody who's from that community. I think it's a good idea for people to focus their energies on having police officers who actually live in their communities. These are people that have to be seen on their days off and stuff like that. What it allows for is it allows for you to actually know the people who are policing you in your community. Um, I think that's important. Years ago, they had this thing called community-based policing, and it was, they even had, like centers placed in certain communities with that title, and it was an opportunity to actually know the police officers in your community. I think that's a good idea. I've heard various perspectives of, from other people, and I don't want to get into the perspectives because I don't want to turn this video into a name dragging session. It's going to be a lot of that, and that's not good energy. Um, Solution orient, which we need potential solutions, ideas for solutions. We can discuss that. Let's not tear each other down. Um, Police yourselves before the police are called. In an age where, like I said, with the highest, well, it's not the highest, but it's pretty high. It's sixth leading cause of death for people who are brown by police officers. That's a good idea that we police ourselves before police officers have to be called. Um, Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good day. I will speak more on this as I get more information. Like I said, I'm waiting for that body cam that will tell a story from the officer's perspective, a story that I'm very interested in hearing because we don't get to see what happens when that car door opens. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good day.